Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, and freaks of nature of all ages. My name is Brian Bad Hippie Jackson, and welcome to my channel. And welcome back to Bad Hippie's Book of Stupid. Today I'm going to tell you a story about high school. I think I was 16 years old. 16 years old. This was the summer of 1984. It was just before I started my senior year. I had just finished my junior year, and I was living in Oxford, Mississippi. And when I grew up, I grew up Southern Baptist. I was raised Southern Baptist, and the church that we went to did all kinds of stuff for the youth. I'm not a big fan of organized religion. I don't have any problem with genuine spirituality, but organized religion has a tendency to give me a problem. However, I will give credit where credit was due, and the church that we went to in Oxford had a lot of really good programs for the youth. It kept us busy and it kept us out of trouble, and that's always a good thing. So my mom had signed my brother and I up to go on a river rafting camping trip with the church youth group. And it was a pretty fun trip. It was a week, give or take a day or two, something like that. And we had a really good time. But there were some things that happened during that trip that were just funny as hell. And this particular story centers around a young man, Noble, who was just a really good friend of mine. He was an inch or two shorter than I was, but a little wider. We were probably about the same size, you know, if you just take in the height difference and the width difference. Normal teenagers. And then Ricky. Ricky was huge. Ricky was 16 years old and was at least 6'3". He was a big boy, probably pushing 200 pounds. But he was one of those big teddy bear guys. He was one of the nicest guys you ever wanted to meet. He'd bend over backwards to help a friend. He was just monstrously large and really, really strong. And Ricky had this thing going on, and we all knew about it because he had told us stories, and his parents had told us stories, and his little brother had told us stories, where he would actually physically, while he was still asleep, act out his dreams. There was one time where his father actually had to go into his room in the middle of the night because there was so much noise coming out of there, crashing and banging, and had to shake Ricky awake. And when Ricky woke up, he was standing in the middle of his bedroom, and half of his athletic trophies were on the floor and broken, and there were holes in the wall because he had been dreaming that he was a Major League Baseball pitcher. Yeah, and I guess the trophies were the baseballs. But that's the kind of stuff Ricky did from time to time, and nobody knew why he did it, but just something in his subconscious, while he was still sound asleep, he would physically act out his dreams. Well, we're on this camping trip, and Noble was Ricky's tent mate. And one morning, Noble comes dragging out of the tent, and he's got bags under his eyes, and he was just, me and my brother and a few others were sitting around the picnic table while the youth minister and his wife were making bacon and eggs and stuff like that. And we're like, "Did you sleep well, Noble?" And he's like, "No, I didn't get any sleep at all." And we're like, "Why not?" He goes, "Because Ricky, I don't know what he was dreaming about, but in the middle of the night, he just rolled over and pointed at me. Like this, just pointed at me, and then he rolled over and pointed at something else, and then he rolled back and pointed at me, and it's like, like he's holding a gun or something, just pointed at me." And Noble could not sleep that night because he was absolutely terrified. He did not know what Ricky was dreaming about, and we all knew that Ricky had this tendency to act out his dreams. And Noble's like, "Oh my God, is he going to murder me while he's asleep?" So, he's just blurry, bloodshot eyes, hadn't slept. About 10, 15 minutes later, Ricky gets up, and he comes walking out of the tent, stretching out and all this kind of good stuff. And we're all just grinning and going, "Just sleep good last night, Ricky?" And he's all like, "Man, I had the strangest dream." And Noble just peeks up and's like, "Oh yeah? And what was it about, huh?" And Ricky goes, "It was so weird. I dreamed I was a weather vane." We lost it. Every one of us lost it. I swear, I about fell off the bench laughing. We absolutely lost it. There was coffee and orange juice coming out of noses. It was hilarious. And Noble did not even know how to react. He was just, part of him was relieved that his life was not in danger. Part of him was incredibly pissed off, and I think a lot of it was just because of the way the rest of us were laughing at it. But he could not sleep all night because he thought Ricky was going to pop a cap in his ass out of his fingers. And in all actuality, he had been dreaming that he was a big metal chicken with an arrow through his ass, sitting up on top of a barn that showed you which direction the wind blew whenever it changed. It was hilarious. It was amazing. It was one of the funniest things ever. That was a great camping trip. And one of these days, I will tell you the story about how Dina walked on water when she saw the moccasin. But that's a different story altogether. Please do not forget to check the links in the description below for the Disabled American Veterans and the Wounded Warriors Project. Let's please help support our veterans. If you like the video, then hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends and family to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Please do not forget to leave me a comment. They are always welcome, good, bad, or somewhere in between. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate your time, your encouragement, your support. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much. And until next time, this is Brian Bad Hippie Jackson saying peace, love, clean underwear, and happy gaming.